Welcome to my top 10 most anticipated and noteworthy comics for June 12th, 2024. I'm Mike Spider Slayer. Welcome back to Comic Book Corner 2.0. Hopefully this list does help you make decisions on what comic books to buy, because it's never too early to start that pull list for next week. Before we dive into it, guys, I just gotta give a quick shout out to Whatnot. If you guys never used Whatnot yet so far, go ahead. What are you waiting for? It's absolutely for free, guys. There's a link in my description box below. When you create your profile and you win your first auction, you're gonna get a $15 credit. So again, if you're looking for a particular comic book and you want to save a few dollars on it, why not do it? So check out Whatnot today. Again, it's absolutely for free. Okay, so let's kick off this countdown with the book that's on the hot seat, and that is X-Men Heir of Apocalypse issue 1. I don't know what to expect from this, guys. We haven't really seen Apocalypse all that much since the Ten of Swords, the early days of the Crocodile age, and what X-Men is going to be an heir to Apocalypse? Are they going to take over the world that he is in control of? I'm not really sure. So I'm going to check out this story, see what it has to offer. I don't have high expectations for it. It's 36 pages, and this one is $5. Moving on to the book that's on the rise, we have The Incredible Hulk. This is issue 13. Much better story this time around, as we have the Hulk who went to Strange Academy looking for Doctor Strange, failed at that, found Dr. Voodoo, and is looking for a cure for his little sidekick, right? And so since Dr. Voodoo is saying that he'll help Bruce Banner and Hulk, they wound up having to separate the man from the monster, and then they're in this different realm right now, and it looks like they're going to be fighting each other. How this helps Charlie, I'm not sure, but with that wonderful Nick Klein artwork and a little bit better of a story here, this is a much improved comic book. So this one is 28 pages for the price of $4. Moving on to number 10, we have Ain't No Grave. This is issue 2. This book is written by Scotty Young, and the artwork is done by Jorge Corona. Now, the artwork in this book is absolutely awesome, because you know what? If you've been reading Transformers, you know what Jorge Corona can do. He's also drawn The Me You Love in the Dark. That was a nice book too. But this story is about a female who acquired a disease, or is dying, and she is literally going on an adventure to take on death herself. That is pretty cool. The last issue focused on her, again, getting sick, coming to a grips with her leaving her family to take on this adventure. Very interesting storytelling here. This is what Scotty Young does. He does great fantasy adventures, so curious to see the journey ahead. This one is 32 pages, and this one is $4. Moving on to number 9, we have Crocodile Black. This is issue 2. Another great independent comic that came out, and this kid's name is Danny, who is suffering from mental health issues, okay? And it's during COVID time, and there's a murder that happened, and it looks like, based off of when you read the first issue, it's kind of connected to this kid, and the struggles that he's going through kind of tears at the heartstrings a little bit, because this could be everyday real life, right? So I am so curious on what issue 2 has to offer. This book is $5. Coming in at number 8, we have Spider-Man Shadow of the Green Goblin. This is issue 3. This is a pretty cool book, man, as you get to see Norman Osborn give an assistant his prototype Green Goblin formula. The guy becomes a Red Goblin. He goes through these constant mutations, and he's trying to capture Harry Osborn. And the reason why he's capturing Harry Osborn is because we see Norman Osborn, Norman Osborn's wife, give him the tax so he can make him normal once again. And the cool thing about this story is the Spider-Man in here as well. He's a much younger Spider-Man, much younger Peter Parker when he just acquired his powers, and we get to see him going through those trials and tribulations of being Spider-Man. And then in the last issue, he had a cool interaction with Sandman, and Sandman just became the Sandman, so he's trying to find his place in the world too. Does he want to take the path of good? Does he want to take the path of bad? And it was pretty fun, man. I really enjoy this one. 28 pages, $4. Coming in at number 7, we have the Avengers issue 15. So this is pretty wild, man. When it comes to the Avengers with Blood Hunt tie-in, we get to see like Nazi vampires was in the last issue, and there were some funny one-liners in that book as well, and it looks like they're going to be doing battle against these vampires in a helicarrier. Listen, when it comes to the tie-ins of Blood Hunts, if you want to check out a few tie-ins, you might want to try out like the Jed MacKay ones, like I've said in the past, because he's the one writing the main event. And if you want a much more in-depth story of what's going on in the Marvel Universe with certain situations happening, you read this. It expands the story a little bit more. So legacy numbering here is 781. This is a 28-page comic for the price of $4. Coming in at number 6, we're continuing Blood Hunt stuff. This is Blood Hunt issue 3. I'm going to recommend the polybagged editions now, the red band editions, as it does add a little bit more to the story and a little bit more gore. So if you're going to pay for something, get this one at least. I think it's worth $1 more. And in this one, we get to see the continuation of our heroes trying to find a cure on how to stop this whole vampire thing that's going on. We also got to see the Avengers, or some of them, do battle against the head vampires. I forgot the hell what their name is. And then you got that twist at the end with Miles Morales becoming a vampire, which was kind of cool, okay? So where does that whole thing go? How does this story continue? I don't know. I'm a little weary on it because issue 2 was very much similar to issue 1, and there's not really in-depth story. So I feel but more out of this story. Maybe you do got to read those Jed MacKay tie-ins. I don't know, right? So we'll see how the main event continues. Coming in at number 5, this possibly could be a good one. This is Miles Morales Spider-Man issue 21, the Blood Hunt tie-in, because I think this is the story where we get to see Blade interact with Miles Morales and turn him into that vampire, okay? Or bite him, or whatever the case may be, because you did not see that happen. You got to see him meet up with Blade, but you never saw any interactions and things like that. So if this is the story that tells you how Miles Morales becomes that vampire, I think this could be a great tie-in. So this one is 28 pages, $4. If you're following the legacy numbering, it's 303. Coming in at number 4, we have Geiger. This is issue 3. I think Jeff Johns is doing a fine job with Geiger. He's teaming up with the character by the name of Nuclear Knight. They're going on missions because there's a particular person, I think a scientist, if I remember correctly, that can cure Tyreek. And the cool thing is they're going on these missions and traveling. They came across this town asking for information. The guy is like, I got information if you take care of a problem for me. And it was a guy that was stealing all their supplies in their town and things like that. Well, when they go on this mission, they find out that this guy is only stealing stuff to protect his family. And this family reminds Tyreek of his family on how he would do anything to protect him. And so he spares the life of these guys. And so I thought that was a really heartfelt moment in that comic. And it shows you that he's just not this killer, right? And so I like the human side of things. It kind of kept the book grounded. So I definitely recommend Geiger right now. This one is 32 pages, $4. Top 3, here we go. We have Ultimate X-Men. This is issue 4. It's titled New Mutants. So the last issue, we finally got the word mutants in the comic done by Nico. And it looks like we're going to learn a little bit more about her. So we learned about the character Armor, we learned about the character May, we learned about, now we're going to learn about Nico, and it looks like she has some kind of psychic ability, knows what's going on with these girls, and it looks like that these guys are going to go on their first adventure very soon. Listen, I know this is an acquired taste, and this is a slow burn type of comic, but I think this book is going to be really good in the long term, right? And sometimes, you know, character growth, when you do it in a different, you know, in a slow way, is okay, because you do get to know these particular characters. These are different versions of characters that you know, so they could have a little bit different personalities, they interact different way. Plus, this is a different culture because it takes place like in Japan and stuff. So I can understand the slow burn here. So this one is 28 pages and this one is $5. Coming in at number 2. Great book right now, guys. Green Lantern issue 12. So the Green Lanterns have figured out the truth behind the United Planets. There's really one guy behind all this, and it was the original ruler. He has he's destroyed all the other power batteries. He has the power of all the different lanterns. And at the end of the last issue, we got to see Carol Ferris kind of running off to Vegas to force a marriage that maybe really shouldn't happen, right? Because she still loves Hal, but she always knows she can't have Hal, so she settles for the next best thing. So when she goes to the altar, all of a sudden her Star Sapphire ring approaches her, and it looks like she's going to be a Star Sapphire again. Really awesome book. I love what Jeremy Adams is doing with this book. It's kind of bringing back that Jeff Johns vibe to it, and I like all the different colored lanterns. I like the blue ones. I like the red ones. I like all those characters, right? And to see the adventures that they go on in the future will be fun too. So this one is 40 pages, and this one is $5. Always remember, guys, after number 1, we're not done, as we do have the Noteworthy comics to talk about. The reason why I do it is just to let you know that there's other comic books coming out there, because I might not cover in this top 10 list of stuff that's coming out. But let's talk about my number 1. And my number 1, of course, it's always freaking Transformers. This is issue 9. The wars on Cybertron and Earth converge in ways the Autobots and Decepticons never expected. So in the last issue, we wound up seeing Soundwave discover their starship, and now they have a ways to communicate with Shockwave and Cybertron to bring down new Decepticons, just like in the cartoon back in 1984, guys. Pretty sweet shit right there, let me tell you. And then we have Carly, who's joining RC to be by her side. You know, the last issue was a little bit of a slowdown to kind of progress the story going forward. I love this series. It's like my favorite series right now. There's some good ones. Ultimate Spider-Man, there's Green Lantern, there's Transformers. There's a lot of good stuff this year, guys, but Transformers definitely takes the cake for me. It's so well done. Here we go. Noteworthy Comics, kicking off with Marvel Comics. We're kicking off with Blood Hunt Fantastic Four, issue 21. I thought they were staying away from Blood Hunt, but nope, there's a tie-in for them as well. I know a lot of people might collect this book for the great Alex Ross covers. I don't know how many people are reading it. I fell off of it after issue 2 or 3. Just a little bit too much for me. Then we have Gods issue 8. I know a lot of people now who are still enjoying Gods. People are telling me in the comments all the time. Darth Vader issue 47 is next on the Noteworthy Comics. Listen, if you're a fan of Darth Vader, I think you'll probably read this comic book. Then we have the continuation of Deadpool issue 3. I liked issue 2, just not as strong as issue 1, so we'll see what issue 3 has to offer. Then we have Deadpool and Wolverine, Wade Wilson III, issue 2. I did not like issue 1 at all. It was all over the place. So, I don't know. I think I'm going to pass on this. We have next Spider-Boy issue 8, which is a great series. And then we have The Amazing Spider-Man Blood Hunt issue 2. Not very good. but I'll read it anyway. Then we have Scarlet Witch. This is issue 1, another volume of Scarlet Witch. Nice Jenny Frison variant cover. I think I put that one down there. Then we move on to DC Comics. We have Batman and Robin issue 10. So we're still doing this Man-Bat stuff. Maybe we can get a new story arc eventually. Then we have Red Hood the Hill issue 5. Don't read this one. Then we have Batman Gotham by Gaslight, the Kryptonian Age issue 1. This could be really cool. I'm going to check this one out. We have The Outsiders issue 8. Do not read that. And then we move on to the indie comics. We have The Deviant issue 6. Pretty interesting book, I would say, but not my favorite. Then we have Thundercats issue 5. Then we move on to Something Epic issue 11. We have Napalm Lullaby issue 4. Next is Dick Tracy, issue 2. Then we have Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Usagi Yojimbo Saturday Morning Adventures. This is issue 1. So there you guys have it. There are the most anticipated and noteworthy comics coming out for June 12th, 2024. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. I want to know in the comments below what you're most excited for the week of June 12th. And as always, guys, if you love my content, there's always more content for you to watch. And as always, guys, let's make sure you support the local comic shops. Keep buying, keep collecting, but always remember, read those comics. Guys, thank you so much for watching the channel. It's much appreciated. I'm working hard this summer to continue to deliver that content for you. And guys, have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. Thank you so much.